Hey Pilates people, thanks for being here today. I have for you a movement session on the mat, so grab it and your beautiful self and go ahead and have a lie back. We're gonna start with the knees bent, the feet flat on the floor, and your feet are about hip socket distance apart. So feel your arms stretch down and into the mat. Feel equal weight into your feet. Allow your tailbone to sink heavy, the chest to roll open to try and connect those upper arm bones into the mat. Take a big expansive breath into the ribs. And then as you exhale, I want you to gently tuck your hips under. Feel your low back press into the mat. And then just pause here. Your tailbone is still reaching to your feet even though it's curled under. And then just lengthen as you roll those last couple vertebrae down. So just a tiny pelvic rock, all right? Press down equally through your feet, curl the hips under. Little pelvic rock, and then rock the hips away. Use your exhale to draw the abdomen, the ribs down, the pubic bone curls back, and then rock it away. Now let's start to make these bigger. So you come up maybe into just a half bridge, and then melt all the way down. Again, length out through the crown of the head and down through your feet, and then all the way down. Again, roll the hips under, peel the spine up off the mat and pause here at the top. Just find your long line, and I want you to think of even or putting more weight into your feet than your upper body right now. And just hold here for a moment and just feel that work. Chest once again is rolling open, and then keep that pull of your seat to your feet as you melt all the way down. Again, curl the hips under and pause at the top. Think pubic bone higher than your two hip points, and imagine you've got a little ball between your knees. So the inner thighs are engaged, hugging in on that imaginary ball. And now I want you to drop your right hip down and then lift it up. Drop the left hip down a little bit and then lift it up. So we're just doing a little twist in our lower half. And as one hip drops, the other hip stays engaged. But remember to try to keep more weight into your feet than your upper body. So it's very tempting to feel like you're sliding your upper body back away from the feet. All right, we're trying to do the opposite. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Both hips are up, and then melt all the way down. All right, again, we're just starting off with some bridges. We are getting our seat at the party. Roll the hips up, find your long line, check all your Pilates boxes here. Now lift just the toes up and lift the balls of the feet up. And then balls of the feet go down, toes go down, heels come up. Lower the heels down, toes up, balls of the feet up, balls of the feet down, toes down, right? You see where this is going. We're just going through a big articulation in our feet and in our ankles. And all the while, your pelvis is staying lifted and it's staying stable. And I guess if you wanted to up the ante here, the arms could go up to the ceiling. And feel that steady reach, not only out through the crown of your head, but through your tailbone as well. Front of the throat should feel open here. I'm hoping you're starting to feel some things in your backside. Let's do one more. And then go ahead and just pancake the feet and then lengthen as you roll all the way down. Fully release the tailbone at the bottom. Now walk your legs together. They're gonna stay zipped up to start. And now from here, roll your hips up, 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 and pause. Really hug those knees together. And now I want you to open the knees. You hug the knees together and then open the knees. Once again, arms can come up. And it's the whole inside of the leg that's hugging in. So inner ankle bones, upper thigh bones, everything is hugging in. So we're doing a little internal and external. You've got 3 and 2 and 1. Now I want you to walk the feet out a little bit. So more like shoulder width distance apart. From here, knees come in and then knees go out. Knees come in and out. So we just did this, but now we're starting from a little bit wider position with the feet. And just double check that you've got your long line, that one hip hasn't started to droop down. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Find more parallel and pull your seat to your feet one last time and then roll all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. Little rock back and forth. Now I want you to grab onto the back of your legs. Push the legs into the hands, but also pull back with your arms. And now with that connection, I want you to allow that to help you lift your head, neck, and shoulders up and pause here. All right, so my upper back is off the mat, my low back is into the mat, and then bend the knees all the way back in. Good, again, you press the legs into the hands as if you were just gonna rock yourself right on up, and then lower back down. Again, press the legs out and hold here. Now I want you to straighten the legs and let your hands just kind of walk down the back of your legs and then pause here. As your knees come in, try not to let your upper body drop down. So knees come in, hands walk up, don't let the chest drop. Again, you press the legs out, walk your hands down, you hold on. So this press down through the back of the legs is helping you find a deeper ab curl, and then bend the knees in, hands kind of walk back up your legs. Again, press the legs out. Hold here. Feel that that hug of the legs is coming from your upper thigh bones. Can you hear the shake in my voice? And now, can you keep this position? Let go of your legs. Palms are facing down, right? You inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Remember, in this 100 position, the head can always come down. The legs can come down, right? We have lots of options. You choose your challenge point. But either way, I want you pumping those arms vigorously and finding full deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug everything back in. And now straighten the legs onto the mat. Feet are flexed. I want you to dig your heels down into the mat. So feel the back of your legs kind of kick on when you do that. Legs are hugging together. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, lift the weight of your head up and then roll yourself up, 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 and round forward. Once again, don't lose the connection of your legs into the mat or your heels into the mat. And then just roll yourself down. Down, down, down. Once the head hits, reach the arms back behind you. Find that big good morning stretch. And now soften through the base of the ribs. Pick the arms back up. Use your exhale on those sticky spots. It's an up and over. Up and over. And then roll back down. Trying not to let the legs come with you. That's such a hard part. Arms go back. Let the ribs flare if that feels good for a moment. And then soften the ribs back down. Arms come up. Keep the broadness across your collarbones as you roll all the way up, up, up. And now stack your spine up tall and just hold here. Pull those pinky toes closer back towards your face. And then from here, roll the pelvis away from the thighs and then round back, round back, round back. Arms reach back behind you. Now we're gonna play around. So we're gonna, as we roll up, we're gonna come into our rolling like a ball. So pick the arms up, reach them for your toes, point out through the toes. And then as you roll yourself up, can your legs float up at the same time? Bend the knees, and now grab onto either your shins or your ankles. So right now you are hovering. Big point out through the toes. Make sure you've got enough room to roll back behind you. Push the shins up into the hands and pull back with the arms. Exhale out all of your breath. Get deeper into this rounded shape. And then inhale as you rock back. And then exhale up. You inhale, rock back. And then exhale up. Inhale, rock back, lift the hips. And then exhale up. Right, and you're trying to find that balancing position at the top. Inhale up, exhale up. There you go. Lift the hips and then all the way up. You have one more here. And up and pause at the top. Take your hands to your right shin. As you roll back, shoot your left leg out long and hold here. Feel a strong reach out through that left big toe. Push your right shin up and into your hands. Your elbows are wide. And then switch. Push the shin up and switch. So keeping those elbows wide is going to help find space in your upper back. It's just like you're rowing from the reformer. And feel like you're pushing that straight leg down and away, down and away. For 2 and 1. Now hug both knees into your chest. You're a tiny little ball. Send the legs out as your arms go back and then open the arms out wide to the side. Maybe you can curl up higher as your hands reach to your thighs and then bend everything back in. Again, send the legs away. Arms go back, arms out to the side, and then hug the knees all the way in. Again, arms go out, legs go back, or back and out, and then everything in. Last one here. Send everything away. Stretch. Now bring your left leg straight up to the ceiling. Right leg lowers down, and then scissor switch. Scissor switch again, pause. Grab onto that left leg. Climb up that left leg as high as you can, and then switch. Push the leg into the hand, and switch. Once again, elbows are wide. You can always have your head down. You've got 3 and 2, razor straight. Last one, good. Hug the knees in, take a quick moment. I want you to place your right leg down and into the mat, flex that foot. Left leg goes straight up to the sky here. Grab onto the leg, push the leg into the hands, and feel that left hip draw to your right inner thigh. Now from here, grab up a little bit higher if you haven't already. Lift your head up and I want you to rock up. Rock yourself all the way up and pause at the top. So your left leg is up here in space, kind of at a teaser position. Now we're gonna keep it like that as you walk down the leg. Left leg doesn't move. You go all the way down, low back barely hits the mat, and then walk yourself up. You climb down your tree, right? So just like the reformer, low back hits the mat, and then walk back up. Now we go down a little bit further. So walk down. Maybe your base of your ribs touch the mat, and then come all the way up. Strong straight legs with both legs. Go down a little bit further, and then come all the way up. We have one more here. Climb down, go all the way down. Can you let go of your leg? Head hits the mat, and then pick your head back up, climb up that tree, and then hold here. Let go of the leg, lower the left leg down, right leg comes up, grab onto it, and then just roll yourself all the way back and pause here. Push the right leg into the hands, left heel roots down into the mat, and then from here we gotta rock all the way up. Every side is different, right? So feel that right leg lengthen away from your right hip. You're getting taller. Hold that right leg still in space. You climb down the leg, low back just barely touches, and then walk back up. Low back touches, and then back up. Go back a little bit further, and then up. We go back a little bit further, and then up. Now we go back all the way. You let go of the leg. Use your exhale to climb back up that leg. Climb. Beautiful. And then just lower the leg all the way down. All right, so we've got to finish our series of 5. Just took a small detour. So go ahead and lie all the way down. Knees come into your chest. Interlace the webbing of your fingers. Hands go behind the base of your skull. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up. Once again, elbows are wide, but I want you to push your head into your hands. Legs go straight up to the ceiling. All right, think no daylight between those legs. Push the legs down and away, down to that working angle, and then float the legs up. So working angle means no pain in your low back or in your back. And up. Reach the toes across the room and up. Last one here, send the legs away. Right knee comes in, left leg lowers down a little bit more. Left armpit comes up, 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 and switch. And switch. So keep your head in line with your pubic bone. I know it's very tempting to kind of want to roll over to the side. So think of that opposite elbow reaching back and back for 3. Hang in there. And 2 and 1. Bring it all the way in. All right, from here, just drop the knees from right to left. And now go ahead and straighten your legs. Feet are flexed, heels are digging down into the mat. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. Transitional roll up here. On your exhale, roll yourself all the way up and just round forward. So now I want you to open the legs to the width of your mat. Point out through the toes. So once again, legs are kind of reaching away and down. Reach the arms out in front of you. Find that same energy you hear with your arms. And then just roll yourself back. Just go back maybe about halfway and pause here, to the point where it feels like your legs get a little bit lighter, and then just roll yourself back up. Let's do that again. Roll the pelvis away from the thighs. Feel yourself stretch back, and then roll yourself up. We have one more of those. Roll yourself back, and then come all the way up. Now, I want you to take your hands into the mat. They might have to be at your hips, maybe a slightly behind. I'll let you pick. So I want you to find this tall seated position, right? Chest is broad, all the things, right? So keeping tall, we'll start here and keeping your legs straight. Can you float your right leg up off the mat? Up and down. You get taller as your left leg lifts up and down. Now, if this is absolutely unbearable, find a turnout with your legs. All right, you float the leg up and down. You float the leg up and down. And if that is still just absolutely impossible, lean back a little bit, okay? Hands, press them into the mat, and then you try to float a leg up and down. But no matter where you're at, I want you to focus on keeping your spine and your pelvis stable. So let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Come all the way up. Okay, now we're gonna try doing it, getting into our rockers. That's just kind of your prep. So find either your turnout or your parallel. You pick, arms reach out in front of you. Roll yourself back. Maybe not quite a half roll back, maybe like a third of the way. And then from here, float your left leg up. Just grab onto it for a second and then lower it down. Float your right leg up to your right hand, grab onto it, and then lower down. From here, can you float both legs up? For me, I struggle with this, so do what you can, right? You float a leg up, you float the other leg up, and then pause here. Even if your knees are bent, I still want you pushing the legs into your hands and finding length out through the crown of your head. Your spine is rounded. Exhale out all of your breath, and then inhale as you rock back, lift the hips, and then rock yourself up. Inhale, rock back, lift the hips, and then exhale, rock up. Sometimes it's easier to grab onto the back of the thighs as opposed to the ankles, right? Especially for my tight people out there. And then rock up. Last one here. And then up, whoop. Meet me at the top here. Come all the way up and pause here. I want you to bring the legs together and then open the legs. You bring the legs together and open the legs. Bring the legs together, hold here. Let go of your legs and then roll yourself all the way back, all the way back. Legs go down, head goes down. So now we turn over onto our stomach because we are in a need of a hip opening. All right, so let's go hands underneath your shoulders. Elbows are bent, kind of pinned back behind you. So forehead is into the mat.
Legs are reaching long. Press your big toes down and feel your tailbone lengthen as your pubic bone also presses down into the mat. All right, from here, legs stay down. Press into your hands, feel your heart reach forward, and just lift your chest up off the mat. And then lengthen as you come down. So those arms, think of them pulling your upper body forward as you lift your chest up and then lower back down. If this is too much on your low back, please feel free to separate the legs, but still work the length out through your tailbone. You roll the chest open to lift yourself up and then lengthen back down. So hopefully if you're getting into that pull of your upper body forward, should be feeling some triceps here. Elbows just stay pinning into your center line. And then all the way down. Now take your forehead into your hands. From here, I want you to find that same length out through your toes and out through the crown of your head. Keeping the legs zipped up together. If that's for you, can you float the thigh bones up off of the mat, keeping your upper body down? And then lower the legs down. Your legs are in parallel. You try to float those thigh bones up off the mat, reach those legs across the room, and then lower everything down. Let's do that one more time. Think of those inner ankle bones hugging together, even if they're not touching, and then come all the way down. All right, so once again, lift the legs up, you pause here. Can you keep the thighs floating up? And now bend both knees. Pull your heels to your seat. Reach the toes up and over. And now think of scraping your toes across the ceiling as they go back out. Finds that long line. Again, toes go up and over, up to the ceiling and towards your seat. And then back out. Keep your pubic bone and your hips opening up to the mat constantly. And back out. Last one here. Right, this is your hamstring curl. It's also your double leg kick. Lower the legs all the way out and just take a moment here. Maybe shake out the hips. And now let the knees open just a little bit. Okay, so everybody open up the legs, maybe to like shoulder width distance apart. So I want you to bend the knees and bring your heels together. Toes can be pointed or flexed here. It's kind of whatever feels natural to you. So heels stay super glued together. Try to float those thighs up off the mat now and just hold here. Keep working the length out through the tailbone, the shoulders having crept up into the ears, and then just lower down. You lift those thigh bones up and pause here. Now I want you to try to roll over onto your right thigh as your left thigh, left hip tries to lift up off of the mat and then come back down. So for here, you're gonna have to press into your arms a little bit, right? Kind of roll over onto that left thigh, right hip tries to lift up and then down. Again, other side. Feel like that left hip is just gonna lift up and over that right hip and then back down. So we're doing another hip twist here. Over to the left and then back down. So even though your arms are a little bit more at the party than the first position, we're not in our neck. And back down. One more each side. Up and over, and back down. You got it. Last one here. And then back down. Beautiful. Go ahead and straighten the legs. Tuck the toes under, press into your hands and just sit your hips back and just find a little shell stretch. All right, so now we're gonna come up to kneeling. I'll face you. And we have a couple options. Knees and shins can be hip socket distance apart, or they can be zipped up together. I find zipped up together deepens the stretch, but it also can be more challenging, right? Especially if balance is an issue. So find your working position with your legs. I want you to press down through the shins and the tops of your feet. Interlace the webbing of your fingers. Hands go behind the base of your skull. So feel your head traction up and into your hands. Feel the base of the ribs soften into the back and find that length here. Hug those upper thigh bones together
and just pause here. Just feel this work. Think pubic bone forward. And now I want you to side bend over to the right. Left elbow lifts up, 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 and then come back up through center. So try to keep those hips stacked right over your knees and then back up. You go up and over and then back up. Once again, elbows stay wide and then back up. Now let's play a little bit more. So we side bend up and over to the right. Think of bending at your bra line if you're wearing one. And when you can't go any further, then let your hips kind of shift over to the left and then stack your spine all the way up. Bring hips back over the knees. Again, we go over to the left and then let those the hips go to the right. Feel a deeper stretch and then stack your spine all the way up. All right, so let's go ahead and just close the elbows and then open them back up. Keep that head to hand connection. Keep the shins anchored into the mat. Now we lift in the spine, we twist to the right. We twist, 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 and then come back through center. We lift and twist to the left, keeping those hips square if you can, and then back to center. So the hug of the thigh bones together is gonna help to keep those legs stable. We lift and twist to the left. Okay, back over to the right and pause here. Go as far as you can and now allow your right hip to come with you. So allow the hips to twist and now send your right hip forward and then your upper body follows, right? So keep the hip square for as long as you can. You lift and twist to the left and then let your left hip come with you. You go back as far as you can and then left hip goes forward and then you come back to center. I hope that felt good. Oh, and maybe some upper back stuff. So I'm just gonna turn to the side so you can see me here. Once again, legs either zipped up or slightly apart. Same position down through your shins. Reach the arms out in front of you here. All right, feel that pubic bone point forward. Strong reach out through the arms. And keeping your long spine, you're just gonna hinge back. This is your thigh stretch. And then when you don't wanna go any further, you press into those feet to lift yourself up. You get longer as you go back. And then come all the way up. If you feel this, I don't know if it's disorienting to look up, I want you to keep your gaze forward and then soften even more through your upper abdominals or the base of your ribs. So it's almost like you're doing a little upper ab curl as you go back and then up. You have one more here. And then all the way up. Now pause here. Press those straight arms back behind you as you find a tiny lean forward. Feel like your fingertips are reaching down to your feet. Your collarbones are opening. And now turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to center. And as the arms come forward, allow yourself to pitch back a little bit. Again, press the arms down and back. You grow taller. Think of those elbows trying to touch behind your back. You turn your head to the right. You turn your head to the left. You turn your head to center and then slowly release. We have one more on each side. Hang in there. Press the arms down and back. You turn side. You turn side. You turn center and then slowly release. Can you get the tops of the feet down into the mat a little bit more? Arms go back. Turn side. Turn side. Turn center, and then arms go forward. All right, let's come lying onto your side. I'm gonna be on my left side, and I'm gonna come all the way down to the mat. So I'm just gonna lie all the way down on my side here. Okay, so knees are bent, and my feet are in line with my seat and the rest of my body. My top hand, it can be on the hip, on the mat, you pick, okay? So I want you to flex your feet, glue your heels together, and feel your top hip kind of lengthen away like it was going up and over your bottom hip. So feel that kind of almost lifts the bottom ribs just a little bit. Now keep that energy and just open that top knee up, little clamshell action. Now it's gonna wanna be tempting to let that top hip roll back. So think about the top knee going back and your hip going forward a little bit, and just play with that. I know we typically want to make things bigger, but in Pilates, it's usually smaller. Now, if you wanted to up the ante, you could hover the feet as you do your clamshell. Just make sure there's no tension in your neck, the shoulder's not creeping up. Keep pressing those heels together. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. All right, heels, they stay where they are at if you can. We're gonna open that knee up. So find your clamshell here. And now the heels separate as you bring the knees together. Now when the knees come together, really work on lifting that top heel up, and then heels come together, knees come together, heels and knees. Once again, those hips, they stay stacked. So we're doing more of that internal and external. Really lift that edge of the heel up. And how about those ribs? Have we sunk down into them? Ooh, I am feeling things. This is definitely my weaker side. We have 3 and 2 and 1. Now I want you to hover that top leg up, okay? So we're still in this kind of parallel position, meaning your foot, knee, and hip are in line with one another, hopefully. And then from here, right, you lower it down, you lift it up, and then you straighten the leg out, get it straight, and then bend the knee, you lower down. You lift it up, you kick that heel away, keep that foot flexed, and then bend the knee in, and then lower. Hang in there. We've got 3. Push that heel away. And this is 2. It's a long rep. And this is your last one here. Finish strong. Dig that heel away. Good, you bend the knee, you lower it down. Now, I want you to take that top foot, place it into the mat. So grab onto that leg wherever you need to and pull it as close up towards your stomach or your chest as you can. So hopefully right now, this should be giving you a little bit of a stretch here in that hip, especially if you're tight. So keep holding onto the leg and now reach your bottom leg out long, point out through the toes. And then from here, you float the bottom leg up and down. You float it up and down. So just working a little bit inner thigh, but also that stretch in that top hip is so lovely. And make sure that when you're pulling with that leg, that the shoulder's not into the ear, right? So let's do 3 and 2 and 1. You hold it up there, little pulses up. Really feel that this is coming from your upper thigh bone. So a lot of times the foot wants to like lift up. So it's thigh bone lifts, lifts, lifts. We've got pulses 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lower down. Fabulous. Let's do the other side. Okay. All right. Knees are bent, hips are stacked. Find your long spine here. Press those heels together. And then we open that top knee up and down. So imagine you've got a black card, an unlimited budget black card in between those heels, and you don't have to pay the bill. That's how connected I want those heels, right? So they're not just touching, they're not rolling around. And once again, you can find that heel lift or that foot lift if you'd like. And you should be feeling this in that top hip. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Now we do that internal knees tap and then external. We do internal and external. And I guess if you did want to work the bottom leg a little bit more, you could have that foot hovering. Lift that top heel up. Oh, I am not as coordinated on this side. And remember, we're not sinking into our shoulders into our ribs. So we're trying to find lift there.
Let's do 5 and 4 and 3. Hips stay stacked, and 2 and 1. Now we lift that leg up to that hip socket height. Remember, top hip is going away and down towards the floor, and then we just lower it down. We lift it up, we straighten the leg out, kick that heel away. You bend the knee, you lower it down. So you're trying to keep your thigh like in this same position even as the leg goes straight. So it's not going back, not going forward. Push that heel away and then back in. Lift the leg up, kick that heel away and back in. Let's do 4 and 3 and 2. Last one, finish strong with me. Kick that heel out, bend it in, and then lower down. All right, foot comes to the floor. You hold on to it. Feel like that top knee is kind of pushing away from your face. Bottom toes are pointed. You float the leg up and down. Lift that thigh up and down. And with this position too, that top hip, like mine, is wanting to roll back, right? We're trying to keep, once again, the hips stacked. Reach the toe across the room as you try to lift that thigh up. Shoulders are still pulling away from those ears. Let's do 3 and 2 and 1. Hold that leg hovering wherever you can. We do those little pulses. Upper thigh bone is working to lift that whole leg up, 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 up. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Lower the leg down. Beautiful. I want you to come over onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your right ankle over your left knee and then drop your legs off to the right. You can turn your head over that left shoulder and then keep the same position and then just drop the legs over to the left. You can grab onto that top leg, kind of pull it with you to deepen the stretch, and then bring the legs back to center. Left ankle over right knee, same thing. You drop it over to the side. Doesn't matter because you're gonna do the other side in a moment. And then over to the other side. Look over that opposite shoulder. Breathe into that stretch. And then go ahead and find center. And you guys are done. Awesome work, y'all.